Studio Microphone Narration Script, Prophetic Analysis and Global Parallels, October 10th, 2025. Male deep cinematic voice, steady pacing, dramatic tone, subtle pauses between paragraphs. Intro, calm, authoritative tone. In a quiet unfolding of time, moments align that seem, at first glance, entirely random. Yet, when Scripture is allowed to speak for itself, patterns emerge, divine fingerprints upon the currents of history. From ancient scrolls to modern headlines, from the Dominion Order Scriptures, including the Book of Enoch, a thread of purpose runs unbroken. Today, that thread leads us to this day, October 10th, 2025. Section 1, Biblical Foundation, slower, reverent tone. Among the verses chosen at random, we find recurring visions of peace restored, captives returning, and the hand of God stretched forth in both judgment and mercy. The psalmist declares, YHWH will give strength to his people. YHWH will bless his people with peace. Daniel kneels toward Jerusalem, praying faithfully 3 times each day, a symbol of devotion that endures even in exile. And another voice cries out, when YHWH brings back the captivity of his people, Jacob will rejoice and Israel will be glad. These are not mere words of the past. They echo into the present, revealing the pulse of divine timing. Section 2, Prophetic Framework, Reflective Tone. The late scholar Ernest L. Martin, writing before 1998, often reminded that prophecy unfolds through history's rhythm, wars and peace, captivity and return. He warned that global powers and shifting alliances would mirror the ancient prophecies of Daniel and Ezekiel. But he also taught that behind every upheaval stands the invisible government of heaven, guiding events toward restoration. In his view, prophecy was not fortune-telling. It was divine pattern recognition. Section 3, Transition to Present, Building Tension. So we turn to this day, October 10th, 2025, and ask, are those patterns still visible? Section 4, Global Events, Steady, Serious Tone. Across the world, the nations tremble again. NATO announces its nuclear deterrence exercise, Steadfast Noon, a rehearsal for a war no one dares to fight. Dozens of aircraft move into the skies over Europe, their mission, to send a message of strength. Meanwhile, in the East, Russia claims the strategic initiative in its drawn-out war, a grim reminder that the drums of battle still echo through our century. In the West, economies waver, and the language of crisis becomes commonplace once more. And yet, amid the chaos, a quieter note of hope emerges. Section 5, Israel and Jerusalem. Emotionally charged tone, slower pacing. In the land of Israel, history stirs again. On this very day, a ceasefire agreement was approved, a truce that promised to release hostages and bring a fragile stillness to Gaza's ruins. Israeli troops began to pull back along agreed lines. Families, long displaced, took hesitant steps toward shattered homes. In Tel Aviv, crowds gathered in Hostages Square, singing, weeping, and praying. But even as peace was announced, gunfire echoed. A sniper's bullet struck an Israeli soldier, reminding all that peace remains a tender, trembling flame. Inside Jerusalem, divisions deepened. Some leaders denounced the truce as betrayal, while others saw in it the mercy of God. And before dawn, a Palestinian home was demolished near the holy city, another spark in the long fire of sorrow. Section 6, The Scriptural Mirror, Meditative Tone. Could it be that the prophetic voice still speaks, not to predict, but to reveal? The Scriptures echo back through time. Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall beat their swords into plowshares. The Lord will turn the captivity of his people. Today's headlines reflect ancient themes. The return of captives, the withdrawing of armies, the struggle for justice in the city of peace, and the unceasing cry of the righteous toward Zion. Section 7, Ernest L. Martin's Perspective, Reflective, Subdued Tone. If Dr. Martin were alive to witness this hour, he might have called it a prophetic signpost, not an end but a signal. For he believed that before the day of the Lord, the nations would rise in fury, but God would still move quietly, restoring, healing, and preparing his people. The current ceasefire The trembling hope of peace may be one such moment. A flicker of divine mercy in the midst of judgment. Section 8. Thematic summary. Solemn tone. Across every verse, every event, one truth emerges. God's hand remains over Israel and the nations. Peace after war. Return after exile. Justice following judgment. These are not random. They are the rhythm of redemption. And on this day, October 10th, 2025, that rhythm sounds again. Section 9. Conclusion. Cinematic build. Voice deepens. Let's listen carefully. For prophecy may not shout. It often whispers. As armies pull back and captives return. As the world rehearses war. And Jerusalem holds her breath. The patterns of old continue. Ancient words finding new life in the news of today. For as it was written, YHWH will give strength to his people. YHWH will bless his people with peace. Final segment, fade-out narration, soft, reverent tone. May those who have ears hear the harmony between scripture and history. May peace, fragile yet divine, rest once more upon Jerusalem. And may the watchers of our time remain awake for the signs that quietly unfold before the day of the Lord. End. Fade music / long pause before silence.